Hello and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. I've spotted a few sellers that are going to give our dealers a run for their money.
£2,500. You're not even looking at it, Laura.
I don't need to. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Go on. You know you want to.
The sale room can be full of surprises.
At £2,500 then.
Boom! I mean, I could see the tension in your face. Internet's coming in. Today the show comes to you from Northwich in Cheshire. There's a great crowd of people here. They've come here looking for the real deal.
Let's get this party started over on Tim's table. Helen's brought the cocktail sticks, but has Tim brought the cash?
I've never seen a set of Dickensian silver cocktail sticks, and I probably only want to pay about £30 to £40 for them.
The minimum amount I think I'd accept would be about £50, although I'd like to do a little Oliver twist and ask for a little bit more.
More? Well, if anyone can help, it's Tim.
These are quite unusual, these, aren't they?
I think so.
Silver cocktail sticks.
Yeah.
With Dickensian characters on them.
That's right. Yeah, up until a couple of weeks ago, I actually thought they were Alice in Wonderland. But until I bought my little eyeglass from a car boot recently, and they've all got their names on the back inscribed. So I think they're wonderful.
You don't know your Alice in Wonderland from your Dickens. What a strange thing to put on cocktail sticks.
Quite.
How did you acquire them?
Well, unfortunately, my mum and dad have both passed away. My mum inherited them from her family. I think they're about 1960, 61, although I think they look much older, personally.
They do look older than that, yeah.
She's always said, oh, aren't they lovely, my Alice in Wonderland characters? And I've always agreed, none the wiser. And unfortunately now, I can't actually tell her that I've found out that they're Charles Dickens. But I think they're lovely, they're unique, they're different.
You don't want to use them for cocktail hour?
I don't think so.
You don't have a cocktail?
No.
You know?
More like half a lager.
Now, you surprised me. I thought you were a cocktail girl.
There you go.
I could have just seen you with a nice martini and Mr. Pickwick with a cherry in it. I'm not too up on Dickens, but I think we have Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
Is that Mr. Micawber?
I think it is, yes.
Is that Sarah Gamp?
It is.
Mr. Pickwick?
Pickwick, yeah.
Come on.
Snodgrass, is it? Or
Snodgrass,
something like that.
yeah.
There's something strange.
And Nicholas Nickleby?
I think it might be.
I didn't do bad there, did I?
You did very well.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm
And
impressed.
let's have a look there. So they're quite nicely made, actually. Nice quality. They were made in Birmingham. They are 1960s.
Yeah.
Very faintly on the back you can see Oliver
Oliver.
Twist, yeah. So, how much is a set of Dickensian
That sounds so good.
cocktail sticks worth? I haven't got a clue. Right, I'm going to make you an offer.
Okay.
And we're going to start with 20. £40.
It's not a bad starting offer. But I would like quite a bit more.
Quite
Not just a little bit more.
More, please, sir, more.
Go on, if you swap those
Yeah.
for a red one and a brown one, we might have a deal.
You have got great expectations, haven't you? Oh dear.
Go on. You know you want to.
£50.
I tell you what, an extra £5 and you've got a deal.
In the words of Fagin, you've got to pick a pocket or two, and you have just picked my pocket for £55, Helen.
Wonderful.
Have we got a deal?
We've got a deal.
Thank you very much.
Tim.
No one can call you a Scrooge, Tim. Mark Stevens is a dealer that loves militaria, but is David's item more Dad's army than boy's toy?
I brought a Second World War bomb timer that was in my father's possessions. He must have acquired it sometime during the Second World War, and I thought it just might make the programme go with a bit of a bang.
Tell me, what do you know about this piece?
Well, my father was in the Remy during the Second World War, and whether it came in for repair or he just acquired it, we don't really know.
Well, Remy Royal Engineers,
Indeed.
so it kind of would tie in nicely, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Well, it's certainly an unusual thing, and I've got to be absolutely honest, I've never handled one and I've never seen one before. By the look of it, we've got a 3-pin plug here, so this must connect into the bomb.
I presume so. I know my father showed it me when I was a youngster, and we wound it up and we played with it, and it's in lovely working condition.
You know, kind of, it's not often you get stumped, but
No.
This is one of those pieces where you think, well, where will it end up and who will actually buy it?
Well, it must be a bit of interest for some now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It may be the military enthusiast, or what about a bomb disposal unit?
I suspect there's not that many left, because hopefully they all went off.
Well, oh dear. It's very rare for me to be lost for words, but I'm looking at it thinking, what am I going to do? Okay, look. What am I going to do? 10?
Well, from its rarity value alone, I think it's worth a little bit more than that.
£10?
No, it's worth more than that.
Oh, I don't know. Look, put another £10 on the table. £20.
I think it's worth a bit more than that.
I honestly haven't seen one. I can't find one being offered for sale. I know very little about it. It's really, that is where I want to be with it. I really don't want to be going anymore, David. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you would like to do. You have the option of the auction route.
Yep.
Or you have the option of the wonderful £20 on the table. The choice is yours.
I think we'll take it to auction.
I thought you might say that. Well, let's hope it does make you a bomb. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, I didn't feel Mark made me a good offer this time, so a little bit mean perhaps. Maybe off to auction and see how she does there.
Can auctioneer Robert Stones defuse the situation? Well, let's put our best foot forward and find out.
What prompted you to bring it along to Dickinson's Real Deal?
We were up in the loft and we came across it. And I thought it should make a bit of an interesting item.
We'll take that bomb timer along to Dickinson's to see what they make of it. Okay, what did you think about the token offer?
We felt it could do better perhaps in the auction.
You thought it might do better, and I think you're right, marginally better. Is it going to make more than £20? Boom! Before it goes off here in the stereo. We're about to find out.
So who'll start me off at £30? 30 is the now, 30 and bid straight away. At £30 surely, at £30 and bid at 30, and 5 is the now. 35 is the now, 35 is on the internet.
Internet's coming in.
40 is the now. At 35 is on the internet at £35. 40 is the now. At £35 and will be sold on the internet at 35. You're finished and happy. At 40 and bid at 40.
40 in the room.
At £40 and bid at 40, and 5 on the internet. 45. 50 is the now. At 45, bids there. At £45 on the net at £45 and will be sold at £45 only then.
Gavel's gone down at £45.
Very good.
Brought a smile to your face. It's brought a smile of relief to my face. About 37 quid, just under £37, you will be taking home. Now, are you satisfied with that?
Oh, very satisfied with that, David.
Any idea what you'll spend this huge sum of money on?
Ooh, I'll have to think about that one very hard, David.
On the day, he's going away satisfied, but thinking hard what he's going to spend that 37 quid on.
£37 isn't to be sniffed at. Also coming up, can James find the right balance?
Do you have any expectation about what they're worth?
About 4,000.
Fine, in that case I'm going no.
You'll have to wait and see.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
Hello, Alice. I'm Jan.
Alice is next to sit down with Jan Keane. So tell us what you brought in and how much you want.
I brought along this tortoiseshell box and I'm hoping for at least £60. So I'm hoping Jan will be generous today with her offer.
Sweet little tortoiseshell box. 40, 50 max, I would say.
One of you is going to have to give a little, but who will it be?
So would you like to tell me about this sweet little box that you brought in today?
Yeah, my dad gave it to me and I believe he got it off his father.
Has he just given it to you? Have you had it a while?
I've had it a while really, but I've got a lot of little antique things in my room and
Yes.
I'm running out of space, so this was the one I was willing to give up.
Yes. And what will you do with the money? Have you got any plans what to spend it on?
Well, I'm going to Vegas later on in the year.
Oh, exciting.
So I'd like to treat myself to a souvenir to replace that, or
Yeah.
steak dinner, or I don't know, I'll see how I feel when I get there.
It's
but-
a great place.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to going, yeah.
I've had a lot of these in my time. I suppose it's probably about sort of mid-19th century, I would think, 1840, 1850, around about that time. And of course it's tortoiseshell. And then this little rectangle here is probably silver. They're not ivory feet, they're actually like a glass.
Right, okay.
Slight little chip on that one, but they're actually glass. And then we open it up and it's got the original velvet inside.
Yeah.
Can you see in the original
Yeah.
sort of cloth inside? That's not been changed, which is very nice. Might have been used for snuff or smelling salts or just something like that, or just a
Yeah.
little trinket box, really tiny, but it is sweet. So I'll be prepared to make you an offer on the table. But whether or not it's going to be enough for you, well, we'll just have to wait and see. I'll put down what I'm prepared to pay. That's 20, £40.
No.
Well, I'll put another 10 down to make it 50.
I think it's worth more than that, to be
You do?
honest. Yeah.
Right, Alice, let me tell you what the independent valuers, who they are experienced auctioneers and valuers, they say 30 to 50, one says 60 to 80. So what you've got there is a very nice tortoiseshell box.
Right.
And tortoiseshell, when you say tortoiseshell, you think of a tortoise. It's actually turtle shell.
Okay.
So it is a protected species, and it's very difficult to find now, tortoiseshell, or turtle shell in this case. I'm going to say £50, not a bad offer, probably worth a little bit more. Jan's a very nice lady, she's a good dealer. I think if you ask her nicely and politely, I think she just might give a little bit more.
I never quibble about a bit here or there, but I would say to you, in all honesty, if you're expecting more than 50, you'd be best to go to auction, where you might just get
Well,
60, 70 pounds.
If you were to make it 60, I'd have a deal right now.
Look, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do 55, and that's my absolute limit.
Well, I think he's right. I think to take it to auction as well with the commission, so you got yourself a deal.
Well, best of luck, Alice.
Okay,
Thanks very
thanks.
much.
Thank you. Vegas, here I come.
Very rock and roll, just don't spend it all at once. This next deal could hang in the balance on James Late's table. So what has Stephen got in store for him?
I brought these scales in. I'm looking for around about 60 quid. And I think James will probably go to that figure anyway, because I think he's a fair dealer.
So tell me about them. How long have you had them?
Well, I've had them nearly 40 years. They were found in a loft in a box.
So why are you selling them?
Because they're no use. They don't sit anywhere. They're just flung from pillar to post
So
in the house.
you hate them and they cost you nothing. It's getting better and better.
Yeah.
What happened to the weights?
And they weren't there. That was the only
It's
one there.
very sad because
Yeah.
collectors want these with their original weights. So there would have been probably a nest of 5 weights.
Right.
Going up to a top one, which would have been a little tiny one with a brass knob on top, which would have been the quarter ounce.
Yeah.
Penny post came in around about the early 1840s. So from about the 1840s to the 1920s, postage scales were made in huge numbers. These are obviously not for a post office, these are domestic ones. I had a look earlier at the name on here, which is Toulmin and Gale, 7 New Bond Street, London. Did you notice that?
I did, yes, but I didn't put much significance to it.
They're not the makers, they're the retailers.
Right.
So this might have been part of a desk set. They would have been gilded, they're made of brass, would have been a marvellous bright gold colour when they were sold.
Oh, right.
But these are interesting. These are jasper ware medallions. They could be Wedgwood. I had a look earlier, I can't see a sign.
No.
So it may be one of the Wedgwood imitators like Dudson. Having said all that, they were a good, expensive pair of scales when they were bought. Do you have any expectation about what they're worth?
About 4,000.
Fine, well in that case I'm going now.
I'll come with you. I don't know, to be quite honest with you.
No.
I don't know.
Well, they have a very specific value because there are lots of them. But it's going to cost me probably £50 to get the weights. So I've got to reduce my offer by that amount.
Right.
Put some money on the table, see how you feel about it. 20, 40, £60.
I think they're worth a little bit more than that.
Well, I hope so, because I've got to make a profit.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, to me,
Yeah.
not you.
Okay, I'll put another tenner down, 70 quid. Let's see what David thinks.
Right.
Well, with this type of item, these postal scales, we're getting a 60 to 80, a 80 to 120 area of indication. Had the weights have all been there, it makes such a difference. What's on the table, James?
£70, David.
Not a bad offer. You might get a little more in the auction, but how will it balance out when we deduct the commission? So I'm going to say, not a great price, but it's money of the day.
So, I have to say I agree with everything he said. So if we were to put another tenner down,
Another tenner?
might we have a deal? 80 quid.
I think we will have a deal, yes.
Okay, thanks very much for
Thank
bringing
you
them.
very much.
And I'll try and find the weights.
Yeah, brilliant.
He came down from 4,000 to 80, so everyone's happy.
I got 20 quid more from James, which I thought was a good deal, and he's been very fair with me.
Sounds like you both bagged yourself a bargain. Coming up, Tim gets a right old telling off.
Hello.
One word, ridiculous. £1,000 is an insult to those vases.
Find out what happens after the break. Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Northwich and Cheshire. There's a packed den today, and Laura's brought Tim some vases. But they're not just any old china.
Absolutely fantastic, cracking pair of Royal Worcester vases. I would love to buy them. But these vases are price sensitive. They have to be bought for the right money because we're talking a lot of money here.
I'm going to be really determined with Tim, and I'm not going to accept any less than 4,000.
No wonder David and auctioneer Robert Stones are eagerly standing by. Everyone wants to get their hands on these, but who will succeed?
What can I say? Absolutely fantastic pair of Royal Worcester vases. And they are by perhaps the most famous Royal Worcester artist as well. Yeah. You can see that there, John Stinton, who was very, very famous for Highland scenes, Highland cattle, sheep, things like that. These are a very impressive pair of vases. There is one drawback to them, and you know what I'm going to say to you, don't you?
Yeah.
They should have lids.
I know.
Have you got them tucked away, Lord?
I wish they were my grandparents, and they're no longer with us, so my father can't even ask them, did you buy them like this? He doesn't know, so...
So you've inherited them?
He did, yeah.
He did.
My father lives in Greece, and basically he sold a lot of the collection off, and there was a few items left, and I'm tying up the loose ends for him.
In Worcester, John Stinton is the main man. That is
She come from Worcester, you see,
Oh,
so I think it was a bit of
see.
a fondness of hers, and she brought a lot of it.
When these were made, they were absolutely the top of the trade, and they will have been a lot of money because all this is hand painted, and he is perhaps Royal Worcester's most accomplished artist of these scenes.
Yeah.
When
I know
we'll-
they're the most desirable, aren't they, the cat?
The cattle are the most. You know it, don't you, Laura?
I've
you
done
know.
my research, yeah.
And there we've got the Worcester mark.
Yeah.
If we add up those little dots, we can date
Yeah.
it exactly.
Yeah.
I would roughly say they're about 1890.
Really?
That sort of
I
period.
thought they were later.
They're wonderful. It's just the Worcester market is not as strong as it was.
Robert, something to take your breath away.
They're jaw-dropping.
They
I mean,
are.
What can you say? They're just absolutely fantastic.
Where are we going to look at these, estimation-wise?
Well, I'm saying 3,500, 4,500. This is all about fashion. And, you know, it's the man that has the courage to buck fashion because they are fantastic.
Yeah, quite agree with you. Now, Tim, he knows porcelain. He knows the good lot when he sees it. Let's see what he puts on the table once he puts his eyes back in the sockets.
So 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 4, 450, 5, 550, 6, 650, 7, 750, 8, 850, 9, 920, 940, 960, 980, £1,000.
He stopped at £1,000. I need to get my roller skates on and get in there. Hello, Laura.
Hello.
One word, ridiculous. This is John Stinton. £1,000 is an insult to those vases. They're still £3,500 to £4,500 estimation. We know they need lids, but they are very livable without.
They are, David, and I take all that on board.
Yeah.
But the market condition is I think that is too bullish. That's
I
my
hear what you're
opinion.
saying. Okay, it makes my job very easy. We don't need to go any further because at £1,000.
Well, I haven't finished, David. I haven't finished.
Oh, see.
No.
Oh, I didn't realise you hadn't finished.
No, I hadn't
Okay,
finished.
let's get serious because they are not at their best, but they are absolutely superb.
I tell you what, I won't count all this out. I'll go to £2,000, Laura.
We've jumped from £1,000. We're now at £2,000. Unless we're starting talking more serious money, we, yes, are going to auction, yes, and we are going to sell these.
I know you've heard everything that David says, but I just want you, Laura, to see the colour of my money.
Okay.
So down here, I've got another £1,500 there, so £2,500. You're not even looking at it, Laura.
I don't need to. We're going to the auction.
You're going to auction.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Please.
Down to you, on your shoulders, but let's just say this, what a pleasure.
Oh, terrific.
In your sale room.
I can't wait. Lovely. Yeah.
Everyone's excited, but over at the auction, there's news that could change everything.
When the auctioneer brought it here to the sale room, it was inspected by specialist dealers. UV lights were put on it, and something was revealed which was not seen to the naked eye, and that was there was damage to the handle and also to the stem of the base. It had been restored by a top quality porcelain restorer. Our auctioneer now says that the reserve needs to be reduced, and he's gone down to £2,500. Now, I know you've been contacted. Are you happy with this?
Yes, yes.
I mean,
we had no idea, so, you know.
I mean, considering the circumstances, it is the only way to go.
Yeah, of course.
Tim Hogarth wasn't aware of damage on the day, on the dealer's day, when he offered £2,500. So, here we go. Can we sell it?
135 for the pair of vases by Royal Worcester. Those are the ones there. £2,000 a bid straight away. £2,000 the bids with me. 2-1 do I hear? At £2,000 only. At 2,000. 2-1 on the net.
2-1 on the net. 2-2.
At 2-3, 2-4, 2-5 is the now on the net. £2,500 bid on the net.
2,500. There's an internet bidder even with the damage.
On the internet now, going to be sold. Your last chance at £2,500 then, going away at £2,500 then. Sold 2,500.
So the gavel went down at £2,500, right on the reserve. I mean, I could see the tension in your face as it crept up 2-1, 2-2, 2-3. I didn't think it was going to sell at one point. The time we take away the commission, you're down to £2,050. Now, is that a disappointment? Are you satisfied?
Yeah, I'm totally satisfied. Yeah.
Considering the condition we now know with the restoration.
Well, my father didn't know, my grandmother didn't know, and you know, these things can be a liability, can't they? We're glad.
Okay.
We are glad.
But you're going away happy?
Yeah. It's been a great experience.
Okay. On the day, we're coming back to you, Tim. You had a lucky escape, mate. £2,500. That was the real deal.
All things considered, not a bad result. And more importantly, Laura is happy. Back in the den, Edward has brought in a slate mantle clock and is really looking forward to sitting down with Jan.
I've seen Jan on TV and she seems very good, and I hope she gives me the £100 I'm looking for.
Right, I can see it's a very handsome clock. What am I going to give for it? Probably around about 80, 100. Well, first of all, I must commend you for bringing in such a heavy clock today, because it weighs an absolute ton. And would you like to tell me all about it?
Well, it was left to me the best part of 40 years ago, and my sister. And since then, it's just been in the loft or in a cupboard ever since.
And how, may I ask, did you manage to get it out the loft? Not on your own, I hope.
With great difficulty, because it weighs a ton.
Oh, it does, because it's clearly made of slate. There's a lot of detail to it. And these little knops here, I think these are made out of metal. And these sort of metal mounts here, but it doesn't appear to be any damage on it at all. Dates from around about 1890, 1900. It would have sat in some fine house, I'm quite sure, because it's quite spectacular. This face here, we can see it really is very nice quality. There's no maker's mark on the front, but it's quite clearly stamped at the back with the Rolex mark.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, do you know anything about that? Have you been told anything about that? You just...
No whatsoever, nothing whatsoever.
Obviously, with that name on it, it's, you know, it's a very, very good movement. So, why today to bring it in? Just thought it's sitting up there doing nothing?
Yes, really, in decluttering, you could say. Getting rid of some of the stuff.
And what are you going to do with the money if I do manage to buy it?
To be quite honest, in me will, I've left the clock to my son. And I think if he had it, he would just take it round to the corner shop. So I will give him the money.
He'd rather have the money.
Yes,
have you asked him, or you just presumed?
No, don't know yet.
So let's put some money on the table and see where we go. 50. £70.
I think it's a wee bit more than that.
So if I up that then to £90 for this fine clock.
I think it's worth a wee bit more than that.
Thought you were going to say that.
Edward, or Eddie as she's calling you, I see you have some kind of affinity between you.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay, 40 to 60, 60 to 80. Jan bravely has put
90, but you know why I've done that, David?
Yes.
Because this gentleman here has lifted this down on his own from the loft.
Okay.
On his own, step by step, and it weighs a ton.
That is a bit of a monster. So if you went to the sale room and you got 100 quid, you'd come away with 85. I do not, hand on heart, think you would get more than 100 quid today. Eddie, don't take it back to the loft, mate. Go and have a few beers.
So, Eddie, what do you think?
Change the blue ones for a red one.
I think I always knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm quite happy to do that because I think it's worth every penny of £10 for, first of all, you lifting it from the loft and then putting it in the car yourself. So if I take those two up, put down another crisp £50 notes, are we saying for £100 it's worth all your trouble? Because I know you've had trouble getting it here. Quite happy to say goodbye?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Couldn't possibly let Eddie go back with it, so I had to have it. And really, pound for pound, it was worth every penny because of its quality, and I'm sure I'll sell it.
We'll find out later if you do, Jan. Coming up, can Patricia get what she wants?
Or could you put a bit more down?
Well, what do you call a bit more?
Another 200?
No.
How far would you go?
Find out after the break. It's certainly been an interesting day in the den, and it's not over yet. So let's make our way over to Mark's table, where Valerie has brought her friend Ruth for backup.
Two lovely ladies. Are you going to give me a hard time?
Yes.
I thought as much. 2 against 1, I always know I've got problems. Well, you've bought me in a silver bowl. Silver bowl is Chinese. What can you tell me about it?
Well, I've inherited it from my father. I've had it for over 15 years. I don't remember it when I was a child. I think it's something that my father collected after he retired because he liked to travel.
Did he travel to China?
No, we didn't, mainly Europe.
Mainly Europe.
Just
So
holidays. Yeah.
Just holidays. But so do you think he bought this piece in Europe?
I certainly do, yes.
Okay, any idea what type of period in time he bought this?
Maybe the 1990s.
1990s, okay. Well, the piece is certainly a lot earlier than that. It's made around about 1890, 1900.
Oh.
Turn it over here, and if we can just see, very hard to distinguish. It took me quite a while to actually decipher the maker's mark, but you can just make it out. And it's made by a gentleman called Hung Choi. He predominantly made silver for the Chinese market, but he isn't one of the real kind of oomphy makers that people know that commands money. A lot of these pieces were made in China for the export market, and they were brought to Europe and sold. And it would make perfect sense that your father would have bought this either in England or in Europe. Just wish it says it had a bit more to it, which would we could up the ante for you. Do you know what I mean? We could give you a bit more money for it. But if you sell this, what are you going to do with the money?
Well, my little grandson, he was 3 last week and he's going on his holidays next week, and I would like to give the family some spends for the holidays.
Oh, that's lovely. I must say that's lovely. I can see you looking straight across there, Ruth. Oh, the money, the money. Oh,
show me the money.
Show me the money. Right, let's see what we got. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, £90.
Ruth says a bit more.
A bit more?
A lot more then, a lot more.
A lot more. £100.
Another tenner.
It's for the kids, isn't it?
It is.
So in that case, I'm going to give you the extra £10. £110. Are you happy with that, ladies?
Very happy.
We got a deal?
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed.
Mark.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great team effort, girls. Let's head to Jan's table
Pat,
for the
I'm
final
Jan.
deal
Nice
of the
to meet
day.
you.
Patricia, what have you got in store for her?
I brought the Moorcroft vase, and I would like between 1,000 and 1,500.
I will be having a go on it. I'm not quite sure at the moment for how much, but I'll be giving it one of my good shots. Right, well, would you like to tell me about this delightful vase you bought in? What you know about it?
Well, it's my daughter's, actually. First marriage, her husband's mother, she'd passed away, and her father-in-law gave the vase to my daughter. and she's had it in the cupboard for years and years.
Yes.
She's afraid in case it gets broken.
Yeah. And it's tucked away, and if you're not enjoying it, I suppose.
True. Yes.
Now, don't tell me you've left the other one at home. There is only one.
There is only one.
That's
yes.
a shame. I'd love there to have been a pair. But it is, that's not detracting from it. It is very, very attractive. And if we lift it up, we can see quite clearly here the Moorcroft signature with the date, which is lovely, and the transfer mark for McIntyre Burslem. So it's a McIntyre vase, and they were very prolific. I mean, they churned out a lot of this pottery. They were one of the foremost pottery makers for sure.
Yes.
I do think I ought to point out, and I don't know whether you've noticed, that there is a crack on one of these handles, and it does make a huge difference to a collector.
Yes.
Who they do want things perfect. So
yes.
I'd like to say that before we go ahead.
Yes.
So I need now to tempt you with some money. Let's get a few reddies out. It's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 pounds. So what do you think of that, Pat? 500 on the table.
You
Here
don't
comes
have
David.
to answer that, Pat.
Right.
Okay, now, apparently, I've just taken a check with one of my advisors, and they say the decoration, the pattern is cornflower. There is a crack to the handle. Now, I know that sends shivers down people's spine, but it is what it is, and you see it. 1,000 to 1,200, 12 to 1,500 is the estimation. I think 500, on this occasion I'm going to say it is not strong enough at this stage.
Yes.
Maybe Jan may put more, maybe not. If she fancies it, she'll go for it. If not, it's you and I to the auction.
So I think if I'm to buy this from you, Pat, then I need to put a bit more money on the table.
Right.
So let's make that 6. £750.
I don't think that's enough.
Still going to try and tempt you further. So that's 800, 850, 900, 950. That's quite a chunk more. Now you'd have to get well over 1,000, wouldn't she, David?
Well, you know, if Jan wants something, I always say this, she has a go to buy it. Is that it, Jan? I'm asking you, is that it? Because at 950, the extra 50 is £1,000. Okay.
£1,000.
I'm going to say to you, at £1,000, you're thereabouts the 1,200 bid. But there is one small fault, and maybe that will just take the edge off the top price. So, your decision.
It's a difficult decision, Pat, because it's a lot of money on the table, I know.
So is that your final offer? Or could you put a bit more down?
Well, what do you call a bit more?
Another 200?
No, I don't think I would. In all honesty, I wouldn't do that.
No. How far would you go?
I am tempted to buy it just because it's so pretty and I like it. I will put down another 100, which is £1,100, and I'm saying now I'm out.
Well, I don't know whether I'm doing right or wrong, but I'll say deal.
So we have a handshake, Pat. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My daughter will be delighted, I would think, with the money. I hope she spends it wisely.
I wouldn't have gone any more, and I'm pleased to have bought it at that. And I think I'll sell it quite easily. So I'm well happy.
That's one very happy dealer and an even happier seller. In fact, all our sellers are feeling chuffed. They fared much better than the dealers today. Tim was very keen to buy the Dickens cocktail sticks.
And you have just picked my pocket for £55, Helen.
But lost money when he only got £45 for them. Mark hasn't managed to sell the Chinese silver bowl, and Jan has also come unstuck with the slate mantle clock. She did sell the tortoiseshell trinket box, just.
What will I be giving? 40, 50 max, I would say. Thank you very much for the
She
deal.
paid Alice £55 and sold it on for 58. James was worried about the postal scales.
It's going to cost me probably £50 to get the weights.
He already had some spare weights, which meant he could sell the scales to a collector for £125. And Jan made the biggest profit when she paid £1,100 for the early Moorcroft vase. Despite the cracked handle, a collector bought it for £1,200. Well done, Jan. But as for our sellers, between them they've taken away £4,037 today.
Thank you very much for the deal.
Another happy day in the dealer's den.
Some nice things have come through the door. Great crowd, lots of buying and selling, lots of excitement. That's what we need on this programme. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. See you.